It finally happened, yes. With the 1 hour finale of Kaguya-sama Love is War Ultra Romantic, we finally had it happen. Not really. Not really. What an absolute tease of an episode. I've been watching this show. I got a little bit behind for a little bit, but I've always loved Kaguya-sama Love is War. It's kind of one of those shows where I'm not in a rush to watch it because I just know it's going to be good. And of course, when the finale came out, I'm like, I gotta watch it because this is the time, this is the moment. It's gonna happen. It's finally gonna happen. It doesn't. I don't know. I feel kind of let down at this point, but that's still fine because technically, right when they aired this episode, they announced they have a new project coming. They didn't state if it's going to be a TV anime, if it's going to be a movie. I don't know. Unless I haven't looked at the manga at all, so keep that in mind. Unless the manga gets into like a whole arc about Stanford or something like that, I would assume we're probably going to finally get the conclusion. I don't know. At this point, I'm of two minds. I want Kaguya-sama Love is War to end because it's just been going on for so long. But at the same time, every single episode, every single skit is always good. So it never gets old. So I kind of want it to continue on forever, but I do want this payoff. It's a rough thing to really deal with when you've been going for so long. It's kind of like I kind of want this to end. I kind of want this to finally conclude. I finally want these two to be together because it's been dragging out for a very long time, but at the same time I do want this to continue on. So my assumption is that it'll be a movie and the movie might have that conclusion? Question mark. But it was a fantastic episode all overall. Like it technically is multiple confessions in one. Obviously, a big focus of it being around you and his confession to Sabami, or at least his not knowing he confessed. But that was cute, and it was a little heartbreaking to see that Ino kind of believed, or at least showed that she desired you as well, like Ishigami. Because Ishigami bringing this heart to her and saying, hey, look, somebody found this on the ground and she thought it was a gift to her. And that's always heartbreaking. They've been kind of a goofy couple. Obviously, this idea of they hate each other, but they obviously have, I don't know, that hatred breeds doki dokis. But no, obviously what everybody came here for mostly is Shirogane and Shinomiya. That was adorable. It was really cute to see that everything. I think this entire season. I mean, I think it was this entire season. Everything in this entire season was a build up to this moment. That Shirogane, knowing that he's going to be leaving, wanted to prepare all this stuff, learning how to do the balloons, setting up the bonfire. Everything was according to his plan. Everything he set up and pushed people towards was the setup for this moment of this big, huge event for Shinomiya. And that was really cute. It just sucks that it's like you want that's supposed to happen in that scene and it doesn't happen. Now, something does happen in that scene. And it's like, it's so dumb, but it's so Shinomiya. Like, in the end, the writer knows Shinomiya. This isn't going to be your typical, oh, she kissed him. Because she does. But apparently she did something else. I had to rewatch this like 5 times to get exactly what she was saying. Like, Shinomiya is explaining to Hayasaka what she did. And it's this fact that it's the second part is really takes a long time. And she's like, wait, what's the after part? What are you talking about? Oh, sit down. Let me explain it to you. First they do the connection and then she got her tongue hanging out. But people that really love each other, obviously, tongue action happens. So yes, apparently Shinomiya's first kiss with Shirogane included tongue, which it kind of made sense when Shirogane's like, yeah, so I can't get it off my mind. Something happened. And it's like, well, maybe he's just still throwing off the fact that she did it, that she was willing to do that. But no, it was the fact that she had to slip the tongue in there, and that completely threw him off. It's so funny because it's that aspect of like, we get what we finally want. Obviously, the confession not happening is kind of to be honest, a little bit of a letdown, but it was still fantastic because, again, it's all in Shinomiya. Like, that's her. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing. And so you have to have some sort of quirk happen. It can't just be a typical romantic happening. It has to have well, I mean, obviously, Shirogane going through this stupid effort in the end just to still have to want her to confess is a goofy thing itself. The fact that the two of them could still not confess in the end, we still don't have a confession, that it still continues on, is them. It's still, in the end, this is not your typical romance. In the end, this is still these two dorks that don't know what they're doing. It was great. It was fantastic. And like I said, the icing on the cake was at the very end, Hayasaka being like, "You absolute idiot." Like, what the hell were you thinking? But yes, this is cute because it does open the door for what's going to come next. And that's obviously that rather than confessing, Shirogane just wants her to come with him to Stanford. And I think, in a sense, her going out of her way to make sure that happens is the sign of her confession, that she is willing to follow him to Stanford. Now, again, what this next segment is going to be is the big question mark. Is it going to be a movie where they're preparing and they go and maybe the confession happens there? Is it a full season and we get a whole season of Stanford? Obviously, they're not technically graduating yet. They still have some time, but again, Shirogane is transferring now. At the end of this year, he is transferring. So something kind of has to happen. And I think really since we've spent so much time with these characters, I do think it's a really good thing to have a really solid after story. If it is a movie, having a really long movie to really get into, probably Ino taking over for the student council, the transfer happening, them going to another school, going to Stanford, them being there together, seeing what possibly relationships go after that. My thought process right now is because Ishigami doesn't really know what the hell's happening with Koyasu, because she basically says she thinks it was a confession, so she's like, well, just give me some time. He doesn't really think it's happened. So it does leave room open there for his relationship in the future. Can it be Ino? It could possibly be. He's technically right now in a love triangle, in a sense. And to possibly see what happens with them would be fantastic. It's obviously leaving still open a lot of doors for what it can get into next. And I think at least having a kiss is enough for me. That's enough for me to be decently satisfied. But yes, it was a fantastic finale, even though we couldn't get the confession. I think at this point I really want it, but that's fine. Love does not have to happen completely 100% to happen in this point of their lives, and it can continue on, it can blossom. But fantastic season as always. I think Kaguya-sama Love is War has always been and will always be one of the best shows ever. And it really is, I think, yes, great writing, but at the same time, A1 Pictures and the directors and everybody working on it doing such a phenomenal job of taking the most mundane conversations and making them into epic happenings. It's fantastic. They're so good at this stuff, and it kind of hurts the idea of ever having it into it, but that's my thoughts on Kaguya-sama Love is War Ultra Romantic Finale. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure to hit that like button down below. Comment. Let me know what you thought of this finale. What do you think about the tongue? Subscribe if you've not already. I do first impressions, top lists, news. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support us more, we have a Patreon link, tips link, and a super thanks button down below. Your guys' support is what makes this happen, and I definitely appreciate it. And y'all take care.